Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Willow Oak. Thanks for tuning in. Today is April 16th. The weather has warmed up. We're in the mid-80s now, and we've got a lot to do today, mainly behind us. We're going to get in the garden here in a little while and get some things planted. It is time, and I've done well this year. I fought that urge to plant early, but it is now time. But before we get started, a couple things I want to show you. Number one, came out last night, about dark. Check everybody. Check the goats, and guess what? First time mom, two big old boys. Did a great job. So we got her here in the jug last night. Gonna keep her up today, tonight, let her out tomorrow. But they are doing fantastic. This is the best kidding season I've ever had. We've had no assist, no loss, no death, no hiccups. It's been great. 200%. Got 20 babies. I have 10 mamas, 11 males, 9 females. So the goats have done great for us this year. So let's go take a look at the cows right quick. Haven't seen them in a while. Let's go check them out and see what they're doing. Well, here are our cows up here at the water tank. Yesterday I moved 2 over here from the back pasture. I moved this one right here, number 26, and this one right here, number 10. So we've got 5 over here now. See, those 2 were already here, and we've got another red heifer that she was up there at the minerals. I see her way back there coming down. So these are 5 we're going to keep. Back in the back, still have my bull, one cow I'm going to take to the sale, and a yearling steer that my neighbor's buying. But these 5 we're going to breed off of. Now my bull is going for a couple reasons. Number one, I've got some of his heifers here. The other reason, I think his fertility has really dropped. These 2 cows here I just moved over, number 10 and number 26. They should have already calved or been right at calving. But number 26, I don't see anything. I think she's probably bred, but she's not showing. Number 10 here, she's starting to bag a little bit. This will be her, I think, 4th calf. But she's not showing much. She's way out. And the cow back there I'm selling, same thing. She is a long way from calving if she's bred. So we're going to get rid of the bull. We're going to go with a different program. I'm going to try to get a South Pole bull. I've got a line on one. I love to try them out. So that's the plan. We've got a 5 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There comes 5. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to take this pasture all the way up through here. We're going to cut it into 3 large cells. And these cells will be divided with 3 strands of electric fence that'll hold the goats also. That way we can move our goats, rotate them. Then we're going to come inside these cells with 1 strand where we can cut our cows on smaller sections and move them more often. So that's going to be the project for the end of the week or the first of next week. For right now, it's time to get some gardening going on. Time to get some seed in the ground and some more tomatoes. So let's go plant. Well, we're here in the garden and it's time to get started. Let's take a look at what we got going on. Here are our onions and our tomatoes we planted a couple weeks ago. As you see, they're doing really good. Came in and cut the bottom limbs off of them. They're really doing well. Green stalk, got a couple things planted there. And here are our tomatoes and some peppers and things that we're going to plant today. We're going to do green beans all up through here. But where we have started is down here on the end. Here are potatoes we planted. and they are really doing well. Look at them there. All potatoes are sprouting up. But what I've done here, this is where we're going to plant okra. I took a little 1717, and the reason I use 1717 is because that's what I put on my pasture. So I'll keep out a bag for my garden. I sprinkled it with a little 1717, took my rake, raked it in, and then I measured off. I'm going to plant 3 rows a foot apart of okra. So I took my strings, I laid it off, measured, and I've got my 3 rows ready to go. So now we're going to go in the hub, get our okra, and we'll get started planting. Well, I showed them a couple videos back that this is the way I store my okra. This is Clemson's Finest. Same on seed every year. And a couple videos ago, I took one out, opened it up, got a few seed out of it. So what I'm going to do now is break these apart, get the seed out, and we'll go plant them. Well, there you have it. The okra is planted. I had 5 okra pods that I'd saved, dried, broke open. You saw me get the seed from them. I planted 3 14-foot rows, and I planted them heavy, and I've got seed left over. So it doesn't take a lot of okra pods to plant your garden, depending on how much you're going to plant. I had 5 pods, 3 14-foot rows, plenty of okra. Now we're going to move over here to the corn, do the same thing. Going to rake it up a little bit, fertilize it, rake it in, and we're going to plant some corn. Okay, let's talk corn. I've got my corn in, and what I've got here is a bicolor corn, peaches and cream. Real popular. A lot of people grow it. Really good corn. You've probably heard of it if you've been gardening a while. Got 3 rows. I did them 16 inches apart. But what I did, right here where this hoe is, I stopped. I just planted this section up here. This is just my eating corn. I'm gonna wait about 2 weeks, plant this half back here. So I went ahead and did my rows where I know where to plant it. And the reason for that is this is just where I come out here, get it, eat it, take my kids or whatever. There's really not enough here to plant to put up. But there's a lot of farming, a lot of bottomland not far from here where I live, just a few miles. So when I get ready to plant, to put up corn, I go by. They'll pick it in the morning. I can pick it up at 10 o'clock, and this will be peaches and cream, just like this right here. So that's the easiest way for me. And I planted my seed pretty close. I don't know if you can see that or not. Because I've got plenty of seed, small garden, I'll thin them out when they get up. Now if I was planting 100 acres, no, I wouldn't be doing this. But I've got plenty of seed, so planting half of it. And the reason I'm planting the half down here first is because that's south. If I planted the other end first and then planted this, when that got up, you know, a couple feet tall, it starts shading out the small stuff this way. So I took the sun in consideration, planted this in. So we're gonna get this covered up, then we're gonna plant some tomatoes. Well, let's talk about tomatoes and what I have done. That's Millie, our bottle baby, in the background. She sees me, and every time she sees somebody, she goes to screaming like she's dying, wanting a bottle. But she is okay, trust me. But what we have here are our 5 Mountain Fresh tomatoes. They are really good, a great tomato. They are a determinate tomato. Really good, great flavor. And the 4 I planted inside here were the big beef, the indeterminate. The reason I planted them is because I had seed left over from last year. But I'm gonna watch and pay more attention this year to the tomatoes and the flavors of both the big beef and the Mountain Fresh here, because I may just go strictly to the Mountain Fresh because they're a really good tomato. But I've got 5 of them planted here. first of all, let me show you my cages. If you want a cage to build once and last a lifetime, this is them. This is reinforcement wire. It's made to go in concrete for reinforcement. And I made these cages, gosh, I don't know, 20 plus years ago. They'll last forever. Make them one time, you got them the rest of your life. I put them together right here. When I built them, those are hog rings. You got a little thing like a pair of pliers with a little clip you ring hog noses with. That's what a lot of people use to put these together with. But they're 5 feet tall. Build them once, you got them forever. Now what I did with my tomatoes, I took little bamboo canes, got them beside them because they're not big enough for the cages to support them yet. So I keep them on them. Put my cages around them. Then I came in, this is conduit right here, just cheap conduit. I'll buy 10-foot sections and cut them in half. I must have cut those in 3 pieces, they're short. I've got one on each one of them, 2 on this side, 3 on the other side. Got them zip tied to it. Then I have me a long lateral across the top here. Got them zip tied together. Because when the tomatoes start growing, they will get heavy. And they get on these cages and they'll get to leaning, and a strong wind come by, it'll blow them over. So stake them down good, tie them in, they'll be there. But if you want a good tomato cage, this is what you need to do right here. Now something else I did, a lot of people may disagree with this. Coming around the outside, and you can see I've planted a row of Blue Lake bush green beans around the exterior here. A lot of people say don't do it, it won't work. Well, I've done it a lot in the past and it has worked. It works great. But I did it on the inside where I've got my indeterminate tomatoes, and I'd keep them suckered as they went up so they had plenty of light and airflow to get to them. Now these being indeterminate, these being determinate, I will not sucker them, so they'll get big and bushy. So we'll see if the beans work or not. They'll fix nitrogen in the soil, so that'll be good for the tomatoes. And I've got the seed. I save my own seed every year from these beans, so the seed costs me nothing. So nothing loose, so I'm gonna cover them up. And that'll be all for our tomatoes, and we'll move on to something else. Well, let's do a recap. Where we stand now. Came down here, I've got 2 bell peppers, California Wonders. On the other end, I have 2 cayenne peppers. The 3 slots right here in the middle, I have nothing. I'm planning on planting 3 late tomatoes there. Then here a couple of weeks ago, we planted our potatoes here. They're up. This row is where we planted 3 rows of okra. Right here, we planted 3 half rows of corn, peaches and cream corn. And there y'all hear Millie hollering. She saw me again, wants a bottle. Right here we have our 5 Mountain Fresh tomatoes with a row of Blue Lake bush beans down each side. Now over here, got our cucumber trellis stake. Got a couple of straight 8 cucumbers. Right here, got 2, I don't want to say jalapenos, that's a jalapeno, and this is a jalapeno serrano cross. I planted a couple side by side last year. The problem I'm having with jalapenos is I can pick one and then I'll have a bit of heat to it. I want a little bit of heat. And I'm picking one the next day and it'll be hot. I don't know, they're real inconsistent. So I've tried to cross a jalapeno and a serrano. So we'll see what happens. You know, and here are other potatoes that were planted in the container here. Hadn't done anything here yet. Now I'm going to go in, take a break, eat a bite, and I got to run a couple of errands. But when we get back, we're going to take this area right here, and we're going to start a couple of yellow squash, and 1 zucchini. We're not going to plant all of it. Then we're going to come down this row right here. This whole row is going to get Blue Lake bush beans. I plant them here every year. Me and my wife really enjoy the Blue Lake beans. We'll can all of them. They're really good. We enjoy them. So that's the project when we get back. So I'm going to drop these sidewalls right now because I'm going to turn the sprinkler on while I'm gone. And I don't want it getting all wet in here. So let's go eat some lunch. I'll be back with you a little later. Well, I'm back from my break. I've run my errands, so now we're planting green beans. These are Blue Lake bush beans. And I save my own seed. I've been doing it for years. And what I've done here, I've got 2 rows right here planted, and I've planted them pretty close together. And what I do is I'll come back and thin them once they're up, because I've got plenty of seed. Matter of fact, I'm going to give a lot of my seed away. I save them each year, and the seeds are free, so plant them thick, thin them out. So what I've done over here now is what they say you can do is plant 3 seed in each pod. There's 6 pods around this bottom right here, and I've planted 3 seed in each pod. That's what the planting guide for the green stalk says. Same seed, so we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. We got them in the green stalk right here. Right here, we got them in ground. Can't get any more side-by-side than what we have right here. So that's our green beans. And I tell anybody that's just starting off gardening, if you want something simple to grow, that's really good and simple to can, this is a good place to start. They taste really good. A lot of people will grow the half runners and do the trellis and all because they're easier to pick, is what they say, and supposedly they may produce a little bit better. If I do the bush beans, I don't have a problem. I get my 5-gallon bucket right there and I sit out on it and go to picking. And me and my wife really do enjoy them. They're really good flavored beans. So I'm going to cover these up, and that'll be our beans, and then we're going to go plant a couple squash and zucchini. Well, I think that's going to about do it for our planting. We've got almost everything planted. We've got a few more little places in our green stalk. We're going to put something, we figure out what. Got several plants left over, peppers, tomatoes, which that was intentional. I always start some for my son and daughter-in-law and my sister and my niece. So I'll be getting the rest of these to them in the next couple of days. Got our green beans planted here. Tomatoes and onions we planted a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago. Just have finished with our squash and zucchini. Now we haven't planted much. I'm going to try to plant just a little bit at a time. We don't eat a whole lot of squash. And these 2 squash here, the first 2, something I've never planted. They're called Rise and Shine squash. You're supposed to grow them vertically and tie them up as they come. So we're going to try them out. It's yellow squash. Got 1 zucchini right there. It's a black beauty. Then we got room for another one there. We'll put whatever, something there. We've got this first tub right here. I'm going to get some more soil to go in it, and I'm going to plant a few carrots in it. I've got my carrots. I'm going to start a few carrots there. Our tomatoes, peppers, jalapenos, cucumbers, tomatoes, beans around the exterior, Blue Lake green beans. 3 half rows of peaches and cream corn, our Clemson spineless okra, our russet tomatoes, and down there we've got some peppers, 2 peppers on each end, California Wonder here, cayenne down there, and we've got 3 empty spaces in the middle. My plans right now are to come back in a few weeks and start 3 more tomato plants and have some late ones. That's liable to change, I don't know. But we have got it done. Just need some sunshine and rain. I put the sprinkler system on a little while ago, got her wet down. So we just wait and see and hope it grows. Come on inside, I want to show you one more thing. Well, this is what I wanted to show you. If you watched my garden makeover video, you saw where I do a layout of my garden. And this is the scale. I do have some architectural drawing in my background years ago when I was in school. But this is where you come out of the door in the garage. This is what's under the plastic cover here. And it's showing my individual beds here. And I've got them laid out. And what I'll do is when I'm sitting in the evening, getting ready, thinking about gardening, I'll lay it out. If you see right here, under the roof, I've got my tomatoes, my onions, my green stalk, blue lake bush beans, my squash and zucchini, cucumber, peppers, potatoes, and so on down the line. I've got everything laid out because I don't like to just go out there and start sticking stuff out. I like to have a plan. And another place that benefits you is next year, you sure you don't want to plant potatoes where you had tomatoes or tomatoes where you had potatoes. And a lot of times, if you're like me, you're forgetful. You can look back on this and see what you planted where last year and keep you up some type of rotation. So it's good to have. I just did mine, ran several blank copies of it, got them in the file. So this fall comes and I'm planting my fall garden, I'll do the same thing. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's been a good bit of a racing on here where I change my mind and move things around. So it's okay, just have a plan going. That's what works for me. Maybe it'll work for you. Have a plan. Well, it's been a great day. We got the garden in the ground, the cows are enjoying the green grass, and the goats have finished kidding. Time to move on to something different. Next time we're going to start on our temporary fencing so we can get on with our rotational grazing. So join us next week, but until then, hope you have a great week.